So my brother and them living in the backyard, and they use the bucket, a normal bucket or paint bucket or anything. They do their thing in there, and then they go around the house and throw it inside the pipe. So that's basically what we use for drain.
There are people who live in formal housing. There are people who live in informal housing, which those are structures made up of zinc and wood. Most of them. Many people who live in informal settlements. Some of them don't have access to sanitation. Some of them don't have access to water, to basic services. And some of those might have access to a toilet, to a structure, but a structure that is not working, that most of the time is dysfunctional, affected in those ways where people have to use open fields to relieve themselves, or people have to walk distances to collect water or to relieve themselves. And so the rights to safety are affected in those ways.
The poor sanitation affects water quality, particularly the raw water in the rivers and wetlands and even groundwater. The way it is like where you have a poor sanitation mechanism, particularly in the peri-urban and rural areas where there's poor services. You find that the level of E. coli, which is a measure for microbial or indicator for microbial pollution, you find it very high in those rivers. And it's very dangerous to people who are using that water downstream, say for cultural reasons or baptismal purposes, including recreation.
There's a study that was done by Water Research Commission about the river state of rivers in South Africa. And it pointed out some of the rivers in the Western Cape, including Gills River and Eastern River, are highly contaminated, which are connected to all these wetland systems like you find in Kaija. And it even went to an extent to mention that if an elderly person or a child was to fall into the water, the level of E. coli, which is a bacteria or a disease or a bacteria that is generated from, by wastewater, from wastewater or from toilet, is very high, in this river system and these wetlands. So thus, people they are advised not to drink the water or to use it for irrigation or even swim.
For some people who don't even have access to a bucket toilet, use buckets in their own homes, and they would dispose that in rivers or anywhere where there's an open field.
Throw the water, anything in a road, and then it runs down. Everything come past my house.
Yeah, because
and in the summer you can't even open your keep. You can't even sit outside when all the flies is around you.
The city has got aspirational targets. One would like to see that each and everyone got a facility that household can use. So we aspire to a 1 in 5 facility, but where it's possible, even a one-on-one.
I think throughout the country there's an outcry in terms of how councillors are relating to the constituencies that they should be representing. And how they are taking up quality issues. And the wetland sometimes is not a priority, like all the environmental issues are not priority sometimes of government, because they are seen, people who work with environment are seen as people who are opposed to government, because we will challenge false solutions that government brings about or developers bring about, and sometimes you are seen as an opposition. work towards that.
Yeah, exactly. These are issues that when we started campaigning for, we thought government should know about, and that the city would know about these issues. And it was very frustrating at the outset when we kept telling them that there are these problems, and they said no, there aren't any of these problems. But I think due to also change of administration, when the new mayor came in, things started to change. She started to engage, and she started to see that there are these problems, and she started to listen to some of our suggestions. But then there's always problems with engagement with government.
You must remember this. We're dealing with people moving to metros worldwide. It's a phenomenon. So we get people moving in that we need to service. So it's actually a target that we are chasing. And as I said before, aspirational, we really want to give each and every one a toilet.
In the future, since my child is getting born in October, it's about 3 months. I would like there to be better sewage, where water can run away properly, and maybe people could be taught better about using drains, or just people can be educated about using a drain and not throwing the water in a road or in a river or wherever where kids are playing. So I just hope Salawi's Pass will get cleaner as the future goes. It's basically what I want.